To unravel the festering wound plaguing us today, we must plunge into a story steeped in shadows, betrayal, and a haunting quest for justice. It begins with R. Kelly, a name that echoes infamy. He was the first, a predator cloaked as a prodigy, bankrolled by a corporate machine that turned a blind eye. Everyone knew. Whispers slithered through the industry, yet the truth lay buried beneath the glitz of fame. When the dam finally broke, exposing R. Kelly's sins to the world, Jay-Z didn't stick around to face the fallout. He bolted from the scene like a phantom in the night. But here's the kicker. He always knew. For 2 decades, Jay-Z stood silent, refusing to call out the monster in their midst. Meanwhile, his former partner, Dame Dash, wouldn't let the silence swallow the truth. At the heart of it all was Aaliyah, the key to this twisted saga. Aaliyah and I, we were the real deal, Dame would say, his voice heavy with memory. We talked about marriage, about a future. I knew exactly what went down because she trusted me with her pain. Her words still haunt him. No, he's a bad, bad man, she'd warned, her voice trembling with quiet strength. And the world would come to learn she was right. R. Kelly had secretly wed his own protege, the 15-year-old Aaliyah Houghton, in a union that stained the soul of music. She was, in Dame's eyes, the sacrificial lamb, offered up to a world too corrupt to protect her. Aaliyah, a rising star at just 22, met a tragic end in a fiery plane crash that shook the heavens. The pain, Dame recalls, it's something you can't fathom. Her death didn't just break him, it forged him into something darker, a man wrestling with demons born of grief. And in his darkest hour, when Dame was at his lowest, Jay-Z delivered the ultimate betrayal. I trusted him like a brother, Dame confesses, but he did things I never thought he'd stoop to. How do you think that's gnawed at me all these years? For 20 long years, R. Kelly's power shielded him like an impenetrable fortress. Back then, no one dared to look too closely. Remember Aaliyah's album cover, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number? There he was, R. Kelly, lurking in the background like a perverse puppet master. Dame swears he wasn't part of it. I wasn't there. I had no hand in that mess. Yet the two crooned together on a track called Not Guilty, a bitter irony that still stings. Anyone who knows what that man did to my girl, Dame fumes, should have known better than to mess with him, period. Rewind to the 90s, Jay-Z and Dame Dash, two street-smart dreamers, built Rockefeller Records from the ground up. Success was their reward. Jay's my best friend, Dame once beamed, unashamed of their bond. We're family. From hustling on the corners to crafting an empire no one else believed in, they turned Jay into a star and scored a deal with Def Jam. Dame fought tooth and nail for Jay when the world wouldn't. It was personal, he says. I was battling for my brothers, not just some business deal. Together they forged something unstoppable, until Aaliyah walked into Dame's life and rewrote the script. She was a visionary, a trailblazer who lit up the world. Fresh off her self-titled album and confirmed for the Matrix sequels, Aaliyah glowed with promise. I feel so blessed, she'd said, her smile radiant. Everything I've ever dreamed of is coming true. But beneath her grace lay scars from a past she couldn't escape, a past Dame vowed to shield her from. Their love wasn't planned. It bloomed from friendship, pure and unexpected. It was almost an accident, he admits. Yet Jay-Z's shadow loomed, courting her with flowers while Dame fought to keep her safe. Aaliyah's history with R. Kelly was a wound that never healed. At 15, she'd been ensnared by her mentor, their marriage a scandal whispered about like it was no big deal. We talked about it until it hurt too much, Dame recalls. When she opened up, the truth spilled out. Dark, ugly moments on a tour bus that no child should endure. She begged him to let it go, to let her heal. So when Jay-Z filmed videos with R. Kelly, Dame stepped back, honoring her wish despite the rage boiling inside. Their love was a sanctuary, a fleeting slice of peace. She was gone a lot, Dame says, but when we were together, it was magic. Then came the day he'll never forgive himself for. Aaliyah was set to shoot a video in the Bahamas. I didn't want her to go, he confesses. Her last text, I don't like the plane, still echoes in his mind. I told her not to get on, he says, voice cracking. If I'd fought harder, she'd still be here. The crash stole her away, leaving Dame shattered and the world mourning a star snuffed out too soon. Just months later, Jay-Z teamed up with R. Kelly for Best of Both Worlds, a slap in the face Dame couldn't stomach. You know my girl's story? He seethes. And you still work with the guy who hurt her? Jay shrugged it off. I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it. But the rift grew, splitting Rockefeller apart. Dame's fury erupted in boardrooms, his loyalty to Aaliyah clashing with Jay's ambition. He set up meetings behind my back, Dame reveals, the betrayal cutting deep. Jay walked away to helm Def Jam, leaving Dame to pick up the pieces. As R. Kelly's crimes unraveled, decades of abuse laid bare in surviving R. Kelly, Dame couldn't stay silent. She was the sacrificial lamb, he insists, and if we'd protected her, so many others wouldn't have suffered. Justice came in 2025 with R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years. For Dame, it was vindication, a battle fought for Aaliyah's memory. Today, he's building a streaming platform for healing, a family with his fiancée, yet Aaliyah's presence lingers. Not a day goes by without her name, her voice, her face, he says. She was magic, and I'm lucky to carry that with me. For over 2 decades, the story of Aaliyah, R. Kelly, and the repercussions surrounding their relationship has remained a controversial mystery in the hip-hop world. One of the key figures linked to the situation but rarely speaking out is Jay-Z. However, Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records and Aaliyah's former partner, has now decided to reveal what he knows. According to Dash, Jay-Z deliberately remained silent despite the horrifying truth about R. Kelly and his relationship with Aaliyah. This article delves into Dame Dash's allegations, the impact of Jay-Z's silence, and how the music industry has handled this issue for more than 20 years. Part 1. Aaliyah and the Tragedy with R. Kelly. Aaliyah, a rising star. Aaliyah Dana Houghton, a talented and promising singer, quickly became an R&B icon in the 90s with her mesmerizing voice and contemporary musical style. At just 14, she was introduced to R. Kelly, one of the most influential producers at the time. But behind the glitz and glamour, a dark story unfolded. The Hidden Marriage. In 1994, when Aaliyah was only 15, she was secretly married to R. Kelly, who was 27 at the time. Court documents later revealed that the marriage certificate had been forged to list Aaliyah's age as 18. Once this information surfaced, her family swiftly intervened, annulling the marriage in 1995. However, the emotional and psychological scars left on Aaliyah were indelible. Dame Dash and Aaliyah's confessions. Dame Dash, who began dating Aaliyah in the late 90s, has revealed that she never wanted to discuss her past with R. Kelly. She didn't want to talk about it. But I could feel the pain, Dash said. This sentiment fueled his strong stance against working with R. Kelly. Part 2. Jay-Z and his relationship with R. Kelly. Business over morals. Despite the long-standing rumors about R. Kelly and Aaliyah, Jay-Z chose to collaborate with R. Kelly on 2 joint albums, Best of Both Worlds, 2002, and Unfinished Business, 2004. This decision deeply disappointed Dame Dash and many others in the industry. Dash has stated that he opposed the collaboration from the beginning, but Jay-Z proceeded due to commercial interests. I couldn't stand by and watch someone do business with a man who had harmed someone I loved, Dash remarked. The suspicious silence Jay-Z has never publicly addressed R. Kelly's misconduct, even as lawsuits and allegations against the disgraced singer continue to mount. This raises questions. Did Jay-Z know more than the public assumes? And if he did, why did he choose to remain silent? Part 3. The Consequences of Silence, the Music Industry's Moral Responsibility. The R. Kelly scandal highlights not only his personal wrongdoings, but also the broader industry's negligence towards abuse and exploitation. Jay-Z and many other influential figures failing to speak out has led to increased scrutiny of their ethical standards. Fans demand accountability. Many fans have criticized Jay-Z's silence, arguing that he has a responsibility to expose the truth. Others speculate that industry politics and business ties may have influenced his decision to remain quiet. Part 4. Will Jay-Z finally speak out? With growing public pressure, the question remains, will Jay-Z finally break his 20-year silence? Dame Dash has had the courage to speak the truth, but is it enough to force accountability from those who have remained silent? Conclusion. The story of Aaliyah, R. Kelly, and Jay-Z's silence is not just a chapter in hip-hop history, but also a lesson in ethical responsibility within the music industry. As more facts emerge, the public has the right to demand answers from those involved. Jay-Z may have chosen silence for 2 decades, but the truth always finds a way to be heard. Mate, I reckon there's a kind of sadness that sinks into your bones, you know? It's been a rough trot for me lately. Nights where the quiet feels like a bloody sledgehammer, smashing through every bit of hope I've clung to. I've lost people, dreams, and a chunk of who I thought I was. It's like the world's gone gray and I'm just stumbling through the muck, wondering if I'll ever see the sun again. But I keep going, 'cause I've seen blokes like Dame Dash and Jay-Z pull through their own shitstorms, mates who turned betrayal and heartbreak into fuel. Even R. Kelly and Aaliyah, with all the chaos and tragedy they faced, showed me there's something fierce in keeping your head up. Dame fought for his vision when the odds were stacked against him. Jay clawed his way out of the gutter to build an empire, and Aaliyah, God rest her, shone bright even when the shadows loomed. Me? I'm no legend, just a battler trying to scrape by, but their grit's a bloody lifeline. To anyone out there feeling the same ache, I say this. It's okay to hurt, to sit with the pain and let it wash over you. But don't let it drown you. Dig deep, find that spark, and push on. We're tougher than we reckon, me, you, all of us. Life's a mongrel sometimes, but we've got the mongrel in us too, enough to keep swinging when it counts. And if I'm going to keep yabbering on, let's talk about Aaliyah for a sec. That Sheila was a bloody gem, wasn't she? Taken too soon, but what she left behind, her voice, her grace. It's the kind of stuff that cuts through the noise and hits you right in the chest. I reckon we owe her more than just a nod. We ought to love her proper, lift her up, and feel what she went through. Life wasn't all roses for her, fame, pressure, and those dark whispers. But she carried herself with a quiet strength that reckoned make any of us proud. So, come on, mates, let's chuck some real respect her way. Chuck aside the gossip and see the heart of her. She's one of us, a fighter who shone even when the world tried to dim her light. Show her some love, have a bit of a cry for her if you need to, 'cause that's how we honor a legend, by feeling it all with her, not just watching from the sidelines.